They're just chanting death to America.
Death to America.
But they seem friendly at the same time.
Friendly.
It's utterly bizarre.
You serious?
Joe Biden's ratings plummet to all-time lows as the disaster in Afghanistan blows up the entire Biden administration. Hey guys, gals, and pals, Mr. Obvious here. And today, we're going to be talking about Biden's failing ratings and the absolute disaster that is Afghanistan. We've seen a lot of shocking footage of people clinging to airplanes, trying to escape from the country, falling off to their deaths, while the Biden administration basically went into hiding. Biden recently had a press release where he said, "I have no regrets and I made the right decision," even though his ratings are at record lows. But we're going to talk all about that and more. And before we do, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for updates for future content, and help support the channel by sharing this video with your family and friends and on social media. And now for a quick word about my sponsor, Webull. Join Webull today and deposit $100 to get 2 free stocks worth anywhere from $300 to $1,400, folks. It's basically free money. Webull is a trading app where you can buy and sell crypto and stocks. Join Webull today and deposit $100 to get 2 free stocks. Click the link down below in the description. Join today. And we're back. Let's jump right in, folks. Here on Newsweek, Joe Biden approval rating hits record low amid the Afghanistan crisis. So the Biden administration is completely collapsing. There was a report of Kamala Harris freaking out in the White House saying, "They will not pin this on me." Oh my gosh, we are watching the collapse of the Biden administration before our very eyes. The most insulting thing is that Biden has been tweeting on Twitter, "We didn't do anything wrong. We made the right decision," and so on and so forth. And things are so bad that even CNN is criticizing him. Inside Biden's defiant Afghanistan response, they say, by the time images of desperate Afghans clinging to American warplanes began emerging from Kabul on Monday morning, President Joe Biden had conceded to aides he had little choice but to interrupt his stay at Camp David to return to the White House. So the first thing they point out is that Biden, during this entire disaster, decided to go on vacation. They literally had to pull him away from his vacation to actually do his job and speak to the American people. Imagine that. They go on to say he had been facing calls, even from his political allies, to speak out on the fall of Afghanistan to the Taliban. His top aides had begun quickly admitting they were caught off guard by the speed with which the Afghan military would collapse, but wanted the situation in Kabul to stabilize before Biden addressed the nation. So they really messed up. And the most insulting thing from all of this is that Biden has refused to accept any responsibility. Even CNN says the following: the episode puts into sharp relief 2 of Biden's most political traits: a stubborn defensive streak and a fierce certainty in his decision-making that allows little room for second guessing. Those traits led to an air of defense hanging over the White House Monday, but remarkable images of chaos in Kabul, which the president called gut-wrenching, stood as irrefutable evidence of failure. The task of what to do next will be left to Biden. CNN is literally saying that Biden has had an irrefutable failure, and maybe it's no wonder that his approval rating is hitting record lows. Here on Newsweek it says, according to 530H Tracker, which puts together a weighted average of polling, the president's approval rating is 50%. The figure as of August 13th marked the lowest point the tracker has hit thus far since Biden has been inaugurated. His disapproval rating of 43.8% is also at its highest point so far. So in his speech, as you can see here on the Daily Mail, headline, "The buck stops with me," says Biden, but then proceeds to blame Afghan fiasco on Trump and locals who failed to fight the Taliban, before ducking questions and fleeing for Camp David. This administration are cowards. Joe Biden is not only incompetent and a completely moronic president, but an absolute coward who refuses to answer questions. Imagine that. Do you think Trump would refuse to answer questions or snap back? He would he would not take it. He would have an explanation. He would say things. And first of all, this would have never happened under Trump. Trump would have dealt with this. He would have said, Taliban, you want to invade? I want to introduce you to my carpet bomber. We're going to blow the shit out of you. Trump would have been based and red-pilled. Trump would have had a show of force, a strong response. He would have saved the civilians, he would have withdrawn the troops, and he would have destroyed the military equipment before leaving because Trump is smart and not an idiot. You know, contrary to popular belief due to the lamestream media constantly bashing Trump, he was actually a pretty smart guy. Still is. And what's amazing to me is that Biden has done such a bad job that he has both Republicans and Democrats saying that Biden messed up. Look at some of the comments here. Charlie Cheesecake says, the man is a total disaster. Bring back Trump. 11,000 likes. Noel says, 20 years down the drain. 8,000 likes. Man UTD 94 says, if you're an American and voted for this man, you should be ashamed of yourself. 5,000 likes. The Biden administration is collapsing so hard that even a former Obama official is saying that Biden does not have the ability to lead the nation and probably should resign. Here it says, quote, I have grave questions about his ability to lead our nation. End quote. Obama's ambassador to Afghanistan, Ryan Crocker, slams Biden and says his disastrous Afghanistan policy might prove he's unfit to be commander-in-chief. Now, surprisingly, there's actually been major hashtags trending on Twitter saying that Joe Biden should resign. Take a look at the following hashtag. Hashtag Biden must resign, which is massively trending on Twitter. Donald Trump Jr. says, this has to be the worst year of a presidency in America's history, and it's only August. Hashtag Biden must resign. Yeah, things are really bad. And you have a lot of these delusional Democrats. Surprisingly, there's still some of them who say that Biden's not doing a bad job. He's doing a great job. The economy is good. Where are these people living? Because we're having record-breaking inflation. The consumer price indexes was up like, what, 7%? 7%. Like, let's say that inflation is 10% in 1 year. That means your $1,000 savings is now worth $900. But guess what? Next year was also 10% inflation. Now $900 is worth $810, and so on and so forth. Things become more and more expensive while you have less and less money. That is what inflation is. And what is the White House doing in this troubling time to address everyone's concerns? Well, I shit you not. Take a look at the following headline. Here on Fox News, the State Department calls for the Taliban to include women in its government. Spokesperson Ned Price says U.S. might recognize government that upholds rights and doesn't harbor terrorists. You think the Taliban is going to see this Fox News article and going to be like, yeah, we're very progressive now. We're feminists. We're going to have women in office. The clip I played at the beginning of this video of CNN saying that the Taliban is screaming, like the end of America, but is really friendly. That is just peak clown world, and it is a perfect example of the absolute failures that are the Democrats. Imagine being a Democrat, simping, actually trying to be woke, and tell the Taliban, well, you should not put women in burqas, you should not oppress women and enslave them. I've seen so many stories about the Taliban. They're currently going around to people's houses. They're taking 15-year-old girls and up and marrying them, literally assigning them a husband from the Taliban. Government-mandated girlfriends. I shit you not, this is happening. Women are being torn out of school. Equal rights is gone. Afghanistan is no longer a democratic republic, or whatever you want to call it. It is now controlled by the Taliban, who's removing female rights. Well, that's what you get. That's the real world. Welcome to real life. But that, my friends, is pretty much the story. What's happening right now is an absolute disaster. A lot of people are going to suffer. A lot of people are suffering. We still have American citizens stranded in Afghanistan. But you know what? At a certain point, it's hard to feel sorry for them because the Afghan military, the Afghan president, they ran away like little cowards. You can see this picture on Newsweek of people fleeing Afghanistan, and if you look at this picture of people packed into a U.S. Air Force plane, over 600 people, you notice that most of the people fleeing from the country are young men. There's hardly any women on this plane. It is mostly men. I think they're running away from their country instead of defending it. The Afghan military were absolutely cowardly. How dare you refuse to fight for your own people, to fight for your own people's freedom? This is why I'm anti-refugee, because I do not want people who would rather run away than fight for their freedom. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, support the channel by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server, Fight Club. It's members only, so be sure to join. If you want to donate, you can visit my donor box page or send me crypto. Links and addresses are down below. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time.